live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the So That Happened podcast. We're only 20 minutes late. I'd say that's a good record for us. Yeah,
Definitely.
sometimes it's 30 or 40 minutes, but
22.
man, a stellar 7:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um,
Are you sure we're online, Cody?
I think we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. There's a
You
delay.
just had to ruin my intro. You know what? Fine, we gotta
As
delay it another
always.
20 minutes now.
No,
Um,
no, Cody, we'll just do it live.
I mean,
Fuck it.
don't we always do it live? What if we did this? What if we actually just had a set tape and we heavily edited it? And so when we did the live stream, it was actually just a tape of us talking, even though we did it like 5 days ago. And it seemed
We
like we're the
only
most
need to
clever
record
people.
it.
We're like the most clever people in the world. Everyone would think like, wow, how do they just keep coming up with these one-liners without any awkward like stuttering like what I just did there? It's because they'll never know. They'll
Brilliant.
never know our secret.
And if we get lazy, we can just hire somebody to take lines from our videos and stitch them together into something that vaguely resembles a conversation, and then just use that.
And then mine would just sound completely awkward because I have a little bit of a different voice in my videos, so it'd be like, "That's right, Tiger Star," and it'd be like an awkward pause. Like they would actually edit in an awkward pause because it would just seem natural.
And we could also edit in a laugh track.
Okay, so I heard this weird thing. Somebody said that all of the laugh tracks that are like recorded today were recorded back in the 50s. So like,
Probably.
is
I mean, laughter
is
sounds the
that
same.
is that true?
I don't think so because there were shows that had live audiences up until like the 90s even.
Yeah, but I mean stuff
Depended on
like
the
Bing
show.
Bong Theory. Do you think Bing Bong Theory uses um 1950s laugh tracks?
I don't think so because like whenever I watch a show like an older show from like let's give an example like the Flintstones because they use laugh tracks.
Yeah,
That does not sound the same as like the laugh tracks on Big Bang Theory.
true. Bonnie, oh Fred.
Yeah, I
It's
imagine
a
that
hearty
makes sense.
chuckle.
Like, it's probably extremely difficult to get people to laugh at The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
I think it's even more difficult to have people laugh at Flintstones. It'd be like,
It had a few zingers in it.
well,
no, I mean like
plus
if
at
Flintstones
the
was
time
live, if Flintstones was actually like live, like it tried to
like
perceive
like
it as,
they just grab a projector screen
and they
and
just
just
keep,
play the cartoon in front of an audience.
or they
Fun
just,
history fact, actually, the Flintstones was like supposed to be funny because it was like a caveman like parody of oh god, what's that guy's name?
The Honeymooners.
The Honeymooners, yeah.
One of these days, pow, in the kisser.
and Jetsons was not funny at all, and that was the bit.
Yeah.
That was the whole
Took
fun of
place in the year
Jetsons.
1999.
Or did it?
Wait, really? I thought it was like Mega
It was
Man. How it was like 20x.
2002.
I thought it was like 20XX. I thought that's
No,
what.
it's 2002.
Oh, oh my.
Have you ever watched Harvey Birdman?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was like
yeah.
the 2060s for some reason. That's what I thought it was. The thing I always find funny about the beginning of the Jetsons is that part where it's like Jane's his wife, and he literally gives his wife allowance and then sends her off to the mall. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And he takes the money out for her
Yeah,
allowance,
and
and
then
then
she
she just
takes his
steals the rest
wallet.
of his
She just
wallet
takes
and
his-
then goes to the mall.
Yeah,
Bitch,
I
you
mean,
don't
this is
do
a
it.
common thing in our. This is a common thing in our science fiction. Though we always predict the future, how it's going to change technologically, but we never think about how it's going to change socially.
So
Yeah.
actually, this is a crazy thing. Speaking of the Jetsons, I was watching a channel, another alternate history channel. It's called the Alternate Historian, Matt Mitrovich, and he did this video about the top alternate history novels he listened to, or he read. I don't know why I keep screwing that up. He read a novel. You read a book. He read this alternate history novel in 2017, and it was called. Let me actually pull it up. I'm actually listening to it right now. Um, it was called All Our Wrongs Today. And basically, the premise of it was that uh, our reality, our timeline, is actually the dark timeline. was another timeline that was basically like the Jetsons, like 1950s sort of aesthetic of the future, where everything was like perfect and there was like flying cars to the moon, and everybody, was super happy, and there's like tubes and robots everywhere in like 2016, like in an alternate 2016. And and it was because back in the 60s, they basically created this engine that made like unlimited power. Well, the plot of the book is that uh, this kid whose dad was like a scientist, or this guy whose dad was like a scientist, made a time travel thing to go back in time, and the guy accidentally screwed it all up. And he screwed up this whole future from ever actually happening, and he changed it to this dystopian timeline, which was just our time. So
What
our
if
time.
our history was the alternate history?
Yeah, so our history to this guy was the alternate history. It was the dark timeline. Because it was funny, because in alternate history novels, it's always whatever timeline is different from ours is darker, and it's more dystopian. And in this, it pretty much is the exact opposite. It's almost a critique on alternate history novels, which.
Well, I do remember actually a long time ago, I asked that question, right? I asked, like, is there any alternate history fiction where the world of the alternate history is actually better than our own?
Yeah.
You guys gave me some wrong line about, like, the concept of utopia, but this sounds like exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, it was. I've been reading a lot more alternate history fiction, for reasons that I think I'll talk about later. But basically, yeah, this was just something I stumbled upon, and I started listening to it on audiobook. Because I don't know, I cheat. I like listening to stuff on audiobook more than reading it, because I just get distracted when I read. But when I listen to an audiobook is better. But the author himself. Audible.com. This is not a promotion in any way. No, I've sold out to World of Tanks.
Go to audible.com.
Well, boy, great courses plus.
Audible.
Wow, Squarespace. No,
Never getting a sponsor ever.
Just checking.
See,
Mark,
you say that.
Xing out all of the names for potential collabs.
Sleep on a mattress. It's so good.
But anyway, the author actually narrates his own book for the Audible thing, and it's all from this first person's perspective of the character telling the reader how much he fucked up, and how our reality is actually the bad reality, and he's so sorry
that book
for.
Actually sounds badass.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so sorry for going back in time and destroying like this. This was like an engine that created unlimited energy, and the funniest thing was the author never explains how it happens, because he said, do you know how your microwave works? Do you know how your phone or your computer really works? Like, the specifics of it? Well, that's how I think of this engine, is I think I know the basics of it, something involving the rotation of the Earth and the universe or something, but I don't really know the specifics of it, and I'm not going to explain it because I'm not that smart of a person. So it's really, it has that kind of quirky, it's very on the nose, and it's I don't know, it's funny. It's fun. It's an actual fun novel, and it's weird listening.
I just remember there was an. Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was saying, it's just weird seeing it as it is an alternate history novel, but it doesn't feel like one, because it's not about the whole timeline and history and countries and stuff changing. It's an actual element in the story, and I love it. So anyway, what were you saying?
Nice.
It reminds me of, I think, like a late Victorian short story about like an alien invasion, but the aliens turn out to have like really like outdated ancient technology, or it's like kind of like, I don't know, like late 18th century technology. And what it turns out is that there's like some secret to like space travel that like our society just never thought of, and like everybody else did.
Yeah.
And so Earth was like technologically far superior to like most of the galaxy, but we had just never figured out this one technology that let us leave.
I'm just imagining like some guy's reading like an alternate history novel, and like his wife or something goes, "Well, what if we're the alternate history?" Oh no, that's crazy. And then he looks at the cover of the book and he sees a picture of the Statue of Liberty. What? No, no, no!
Dear,
It's Monkey Man.
Damn you all to authoritative hell!
Monkey Man won't
dear
do it.
Charlie Booker, what if we were the alternate history? The joke there is that Charlie Booker is the creator of Black Mirror.
I've only watched a few episodes of Black Mirror, to be honest.
I haven't seen any of it at all.
I saw it. I think it's because people are saying I watched the worst episode. It was the episode where, it was a guy trapped in like this ad world, and the way that they like earn points is by biking. And people were saying that was like the worst episode or something, and that was the one that I saw. I went on a trip to DC, and then we watched Black Mirror like the whole time.
It's an okay episode. It's not a great episode, but there are some way better episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I have so many other things I want to watch. It's like I have many things I want to do. I don't want to just dedicate all my time to Black Mirror, and I know I'm going to because I always do that every single time there's a new book or a new show or a new video game or whatever. And
Well, luckily there's like 18 episodes.
oh yeah, but they're like an hour each, aren't they?
They vary.
Oh, no. So, anyway, yeah. So, man, you know what? I actually say I like mixing it up for this podcast thing because I realize, like, if we're doing a game live stream, we're so focused on the game, we are not talented enough to multitask and have good conversation like that. Like, Oni games or some other people, they can multitask and make jokes and stuff. We do not have the capability to have a conversation and play strategy games at the same time.
We just got to keep practicing at it.
We do. Practice makes perfect. But you know, right now, not doing anything other than talking, I think that's easier. I think we'll stick with that for now. Maybe we can pretend. We can pretend that we're playing a game.
Like, yeah. Ooh. So welcome to that happened podcast.
What's up, guys? Oh my god! I actually
you're on KBL 95.5 The Blurg.
Oh, I was. I don't even know why, but I've been playing Call of Duty World War II a little bit. I don't know, for some reason I decided, hey, I'm going to look up some, like, I don't know, videos on World War II right now to learn about the new meta, because the meta changed apparently. And I clicked on a Call of Duty YouTuber video, and it was the biggest regret I've ever made, because I clicked on probably 5 of them. Every single one started with, "What's up, guys? It's Swag YOLO 45 or something like that. Every single time. Always, "What's up, guys?" They never thought of, like, some other clever line. It's always, "What's up, guys?" Always. And then it's always followed by, be sure to subscribe and like for the video. It really helps me out. Your support just helps me keep doing what I'm doing. Carry on for 2 minutes. Sometimes, if they're even sponsored, it says, if you want to get even better at the game, then get this insert random controller or microphone at, like, I don't know, imasellout.com, and that's the whole thing, and that goes on for 3 to 4 minutes. And then the actual advice is like probably 4 minutes long, and it's all right.
Sure, subscribe to Blue Mattress. It's a monthly mattress delivered to your house in a very small box.
Subscribe to Blue Apron. They just send you a blue apron. That's it. That's all they do.
I want a blue apron.
You might as well get a cloth. What if we took all of it? What if we took all of the sponsors literally?
Other shade of blue.
What if we took all the sponsors literally? Like, Squarespace is just a box. They're a service that just gives you a box, and you get it every month, and they subscribe.
We don't need that sponsorship. We can just get a sponsorship from Coke trademark.
Oh man.
Oh.
It's delicious.
I'm drinking a Coke too, so I feel like a sellout. This is such a dystopian. It's Diet Coke, though. It's different.
All right.
So welcome to the So That Happened podcast.
We have been on the podcast. This is the podcast. You can't make the transition. People want to hear this. This is the real news. This is the real stuff.
It's been a few weeks.
Like it?
I'm a pioneer.
Give me a like and blow.
It's been a few weeks. If this is your first time, I'm not Cody from the Alternate History Hub. That's Cody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we didn't even introduce ourselves.
We just went.
Well, yeah,
They
I think
already
everybody. I
know.
think anybody who's already on the 4th episode has to be established on the So That Happened lore. You know, it's pretty elaborate. We have, I assume we have a Wikipedia page already. I assume we already have tons of books written about us. The trials and tribulations that we've done throughout our
So That Happened
three
cinematic universe.
3 episodes. I think 3 published episodes. Because I think there's been many that I've just said this isn't good enough to be an episode, so we're not gonna upload it. But anyway, yeah. So okay, I'm Cody, and you all know that already because this is my channel. Who are you people?
I'm Emperor Tiger Star, and I'm all about maps and stuff.
And I am Tristan from Step Back History. Since people keep asking who Tristan is, I have a history channel on YouTube, stepbackhistory.com.
There you go.
That's
He
usually
said it.
That's my joke.
He said it. He did the thing. A funny man did the thing. So Tiger Star, I think people hate you right now. Why do people hate you? Did you kick a puppy? Did you?
No,
Shit on my lawn. That's why.
You want to tell
No,
everybody,
well,
including
you see,
Tristan,
Cody,
the
when
fun
you
thing?
gave me the server, I decided.
Okay,
I
okay.
wanted to
Let's
decide-
okay. We gotta go. We
Oh,
gotta
do
go.
wanna- do we
Start
wanna
from
talk
the.
about the whole story.
We gotta start from the beginning. Okay, so.
This is the story about how we were born and raised in West. Oh wait, not that far back.
God, I hate you. That wasn't even a funny joke. That was just. Oh God.
I know, but
you
I
know,
had to do it.
no.
All right, Cody, you just
Anyway,
start, Cody.
you know what? You don't own the server anymore. No.
You know
So.
what, Cody? Go ahead.
well,
Go ahead.
So the
Cody,
story
let's
started.
just go ahead.
Okay, so the story started with I don't know. I had a Discord server, and it was under the Alternate History Hub name, and I've never really been too attached to it. I've just been busy with lots of other things, and I've checked in from time to time, but it's never been something I've extensively done. The culture of it was pretty good at first, but and the admins there did a fantastic job at keeping the rules in place of the server, which is like no violence, no anything like that. So the mods were not the issue, and those mods were fine. However, the culture that sort of was created through that server started becoming toxic, and it started leaking into the Twitter, started leaking to the live stream, and worst of all, it was becoming associated with the brand and with the channel. And when I mean toxic, I'm talking like neo-Nazi and stuff like that. Like it was like edgy memes, but it was also stuff that to outsiders they wouldn't just think that they're edgy. It would be like, oh, what's this Cody guy doing? And it was just something I just thought, okay, I should probably distance it myself. I didn't shut down the server because I already had an extensive community of a lot of people. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna give it to a new person, and I had 3 people I decided to choose, or I was going to choose. But I decided I would give it to Tiger Star because I have the biggest personal relationship with Tiger Star. I know who he is. I know how he would be, and I knew that if I gave it to him, I thought at first that it would create the least amount of drama because there was always this weird power dynamic between mods. There was always a drama or something. Well, it turns out that was a big mistake because all the mods saw Tiger Star apparently as an outsider, and even though Tiger Star, what decisions did you make that were so horrible for the server? Let's get into this.
Okay, so since I didn't know like all the mods super well, I wanted to make sure like which mods were good and stuff like that. And I remember I got this idea from someone who's like who told me about like, oh, whenever like you take over a team like that, you need to see like what mods are level headed so you know who to trust and stuff like that, blah 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 blah. So I decided to do like a little test thing where I would do all of these like changes without their consent to see how they would react. And immediately, as soon as I did that, the server audience did not act very happy at all.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say on the podcast what they were posting.
Yeah. So because of that, apparently it became a whole revolt. And that's the thing that we've been dealing with for the last, I don't know, 2 days or a day or so.
But on the bright side, since I do have a project for my sociology class, this will do nicely.
Yeah. So,
Did you like do something audacious, like introduce a rule to like not say Nazi stuff?
No, I didn't even change any of the rules. I didn't fire or hire anyone.
he
to
just
a
changed
position
like
or
some
anything.
meme stuff. That was it. He
Yeah,
changed
like there were a few meme roles that were literally useless. They were just a meme, and I got rid of those, and then I added some extra chat channels, and that was it.
yeah. And because
And
of that,
we ended up adding them back because again it was a test, but
yeah.
the time they were gone, they were not very happy. They were posting quite nasty things.
Yep. So that is why I no longer have a Discord server, and to be honest, I'm actually kind of happy because, I mean,
A burden
So that
has been
happened.
lifted off your shoulders and put onto mine.
yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Tiger
So
Star. for
that
being-
happened. Thank you guys. We make lots of jokes here.
Roll
so that happened
credits.
So
podcast.
that happened is filmed in front of a live studio audience. what we need is generic '90s music like Full House. Every single time that we start the podcast, it goes like in a saxophone. Yeah. Cody, he's the asshole. Tiger Star's a cat.
Yeah. And I'm
Trist-
the old man.
Tristan's the old man who hates authority. Anyway,
I'm so old. I hate Nazis because I fought them.
Hey, Uncle Tristan, you want to take us to the '90s skate park today?
What's it like being 29?
I'm 20. I'm 22.
I'm 21.
You're a youngin. You're the youngin.
What was it like being born in the 80s?
It must have been magical.
Did they have dinosaurs back then?
Technically, Reagan was president.
Oh.
Reagan's still president in my heart.
I was born in his lame duck session.
Oh yeah.
So his entire second term.
Oh.
I wish I had a duck. Anyway.
Beautiful transition.
What a
10 out of
segue.
10.
Yeah. So man, this is funny. This is the first time we've done a podcast in a while. I think since the first episode that we've had absolutely no script, no anything at all.
Yeah.
To move on
Normally
to.
we at least have like a general outline of topics. This time we're just going in.
We're freeballing it.
It's our first show of 2018, so we could talk about all the shit we've done since 2017.
Yeah,
Oh,
the past
yeah.
28 days.
For the last 24 days, I have done nothing but work on a single video. It was not fun. I will tell you that.
I did find out that I think it's been impressive because like I've already found out that there's apparently been 4 huge internet memes in the last month.
Yeah, there's most of all of them are dead now. So we're kind of in that awkward transition period where there aren't any new memes yet. I mean, unless you count Tiger Star being hanged a meme, that might be a meme.
Well, the Tide Pods are done.
Tide Pods are done.
What about the
Touch
the
My
Fat
Spaghetti.
Knuckles?
Oh god, Knuckles got murdered. Like, I actually am impressed how much Knuckles got murdered. Like, normally you just see a meme get, like, it just goes into oblivion and it just kind of fades away. Maybe you'll look at it in a few months and you'll be like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Knuckles was used so much by everybody in like a week. Like, even news channels were starting to talk about it. You go into like the App Store, they were making Knuckles apps. That is when a meme is counted as just brutally murdered. It is brought into the back of an alley and a chainsaw is taken out. And that was poor Knuckles. And now, if you even say, do you know the way?
We showed him the way to the grave.
Oh, God.
And
It's
there's
like,
the
it just
Logan
makes
Paul
you crazy.
Suicide Forest thing.
Oh, man, this has been a... Wait,
Oh,
was
yeah,
that
yeah,
this
we
year?
got
Oh,
a-
that was this year.
We gotta help
What a
our
lo-
algorithm and build a bigger audience. So let's just talk about nothing but Logan Paul. Come
That
on, we can
was
do it.
Welcome
that
to the Logan Paul Tide Pod Challenge, brought
that
to you by The Bluge 98.5 FM.
Where
you,
we show you the
you,
way.
you know it's actually Logan Paul apparently um went to high school that was like freaking a county down for me, and it's the greatest shame of my life. It's the greatest shame of
No,
my life.
you blame it on the other county.
I blame it on Central
There
Erie.
he is,
Central
the
Erie.
idiot of the
And it's like right next to Northwest Ohio. It's like touching Northwest Ohio, and it's just a shame. It makes me sick. We need to just push them off, push them away. They'll never live it down. They created this.
So
Man,
all that happened
that was
in 1 month.
That was at the start of the month. That's
Yep.
weird. This went. It feels like it went
What is
quick.
it called? I feel like we're already veterans of 2018. Like it's already like a whole year already happened, and we're at the end of January.
Not to jinx it though, but I actually I don't know. I kind of like 2018 to be honest. It feels different. It feels weird. It's not like 2017. 2017 had like a feel to it. It like 2016 and 2017 had a distinct feel to them. Like they were unique. And then once you reach 2018, 2018 isn't like 2017. You know, it's kind of like a weird almost can I say it's like almost like a weird optimism? Like it's either going to be something that things start getting better, or this is like the calm before the storm before things get really
Yeah,
bad.
because you guys got an election this fall, and last year was basically like the meltdown of everything. So you got a nice little comfy middle zone right now.
And now there's stuff with Korea. Apparently, Korea is getting really peaceful, and it's almost like Trojan horse peaceful, because everybody's saying, "Oh, North Korea has learned their ways and they're being peaceful because they're sending, their sports team to the Olympics." And
Yeah, but they've done this before.
Yeah.
In the past Olympics.
Yeah,
and even used the same rhetoric, like, "Oh, let's hope we unite Sunday."
But you see,
It's not
people
gonna
don't
happen.
think in terms of the last 4 years, or they think in terms of, oh wow, like this. They can't think in terms of like the past few months. So for them, this is an entirely new thing that North Korea has never done before, and it's like peace is on the horizon. And people are even talking about on the internet, like, could the two Koreas unite now? Because there was one peace talk, and they were gonna have a united flag at the Olympics, and
I
it's
think
like
we were all just desperate for some good news, and we jumped on the opportunity.
now I feel I actually am more worried now, more than ever, to be honest,
We've got
because
an election coming up this in a couple months, and already the Tories are going to lose. Like it's already feeling pretty good.
well
Those
let's
darn
let's do
Tories and
one
Blades.
one topic right now, Tristan. We are talking about Korea. Oh my god. No. But no,
And the
like
optimism is over.
like they were even talking about like Korea was saying we need to have a unified Korea, and that was when the alarm bells started going off in my head. Like, oh
if
no,
Instead of
oh
talking about peace, he was literally like threatening war, and it was mistranslated.
yeah, it's like, oh no, this isn't good. This is not good at all. And what I
We will
guarantee, this is
unify
gonna
together
happen.
with the bonds of tanks.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna have a Crimea sort of thing. Is immediately after the Winter Olympics, everything, all this peace stuff is just going to collapse, and it's not going to result in war, but we're going to go back to the same tension we had before this, if not worse. It's just going to be a show for the Olympics, and it's going to fall apart.
What if the first day of the Olympics, where all the leaders of the world are visiting that center, North Korea invades and surrounds the place?
That's what.
That was the plot of Team America World Police, wasn't it?
I don't
no,
know.
that was North Korea invited
still-
them for
still,
like
what
didn't they invite them for like a play? Like they
Yes,
invited all
they
the
were
world
the
leaders.
Screen Actors Guilds or the Film Actors Guild.
Oh, the Film Actors
But,
Guild.
but seriously, what all you have to do is the president has to visit there on the first day, and they're like, go, and just like send the tanks and just completely surround the stadium.
That's what I was thinking, because Pyeongchang, that's where it is right next to the border. Like it's like right next to where, almost right by
this
Seoul.
is going to happen. This is going to happen.
Like if they I mean, yeah, Like I don't if I was Kim Jong Un and I wanted to have like the most theatrical way to go out, like if I knew my country was dying, which I'm not saying North Korea is dying, but I'm saying if like I was about to be overthrown and my generals are gonna like have my head unless I do something, I would use the Winter Olympics as like the perfect opportunity. This is almost like a textbook 80s movie. Like
And
it would be
on
like if
all
you
of
had
the
it would be like if you had the Summer Olympics in Kuwait in 91 sort of thing. And it's like nothing can go wrong from this. And who knows?
they
We'll see.
decided to equip giant speakers to all the planes of the North Korean Air Force, and they're all playing like depressing Hans Zimmer themes as they bomb the skies.
That will be their Winter Olympics opening finale is blowing up Pyongyang.
Just
There's
thinking,
Pyongyang and there's Pyeongchang. So you
someone
gotta.
in the audience is like, "Am I hearing the music from Dunkirk? Yeah, I think I hear it too." And then just a North Korean plane is spotted in the distance. And then there's 20 gazillion planes and tanks, and then it's just
the next 3 Olympics are all in East Asia. We got Tokyo in 2020, and then we got Beijing for the Winter Olympics. So that's a thing. And then we got Paris in 2024, I think.
nice.
Yeah. And then LA, America gets it. And
Very good.
whenever that is, that's
I
going
know
to be.
at as the resident Torontonian that Toronto has like failed to get the Olympics now something like almost a decade straight.
You already
you
had
ever
Vancouver
had the
though.
Olympics there?
Don't be greedy. You already
In
had
Toronto? No. the
No,
last,
but you had it in Vancouver, and that's enough Canada we got for the
Yeah,
half
I-
century.
I would, I mean, no offense, but I would argue that Vancouver is the superior city.
Hey.
Oh,
I mean, it like seriously, I think it's like literally the cleanest city in the world.
That's true, but it's all the way on the Pacific coast.
both the property rates are astronomically high, so I'm not going to defend either of them.
I don't like you. Your places cost too much money.
It costs way too much. Well, yeah, I mean, if Chinese billionaires basically buy up your entire apartments and skyrocket the thing, creating artificial inflation, then yeah, I'm not gonna like it. Come on, Canada, get
They're
your
working
stuff to.
on it. They're working on it.
Well, Canada, we're working on it.
But you know, we are working on it. We have an election in May.
So
And
this is like a general election.
it's
like
an
for the-
Ontario election. The federal.
okay.
We're having another federal election in 2019, where
Okay.
Justin Trudeau is up for re-election.
Oh, that's an odd number. I don't like that. That's weird. It's gotta be.
Well,
It's gotta be an even
yeah.
number. Election years are even numbers. Come on, Canada.
Is Canada able to call a snap election whenever it wants, just like the
Yes.
British?
Yes, and the reason why it's on and we also have had periods like in like the 2000s, like the late 2000s, when I was like just turning 18 and such.
Yeah.
Canada had a string of minority governments, which meant that the governing party didn't have the majority of seats. And so about every year and a half, they were calling another federal election. So I think I voted something like 3 times by the time I was 20.
Ooh, I've only voted. I voted twice. I voted for the last year, and then I voted for 2016, and that was mostly because I was at like the worst time for the 2012 election. I was 17 when the 2012 election happened. So all of my friends I know voted, but I was the youngest in my class, and so I couldn't vote at all because I was still 17. I went on to I did some canvassing and stuff, and so I kind of contributed a little bit, but yeah, I didn't vote because I was just a young pip child.
This last fall, I actually voted for a party leadership race for the first time.
Oh,
Which was something new. I didn't win.
I would have voted for you.
I didn't vote. I didn't run. I voted in it.
I know, it was completely unrelated. Actually, I completely misheard what you said, so okay.
Yes, beautiful.
I voted in the version of a primary, basically.
Oh,
for
okay.
Party leader. I voted for Nikki Ashton, and Jagmeet Singh won instead. For those who are in Canada, hashtag just Canada things.
All 20 of you. You'll know what he's talking about. And I've looked at my statistics. I know. I think I have more British viewers than Canadian viewers. So
I need to check mine. It's pretty close.
I think it goes America, then Britain, then Canada, and then Germany, and then Australia.
Canada is something like 21% of my audience. Probably because of like friends and family and stuff.
Like half of the population of Ontario. That's all. All 15 people.
51% is from America.
Canada has the same law for YouTube channels like they do for their radio, where like 20% of your content has to be a local YouTube channel or something.
That would be
like
funny if like I had to do CanCon and like 1 in 3 videos had to be about Canadian history.
Every promotion has to mention Tim Hortons in some way, even if it's not, if it's completely unrelated. Like, hey,
we actually have a law to prevent the U.S. from taking over the media, to have like something like 1 in 3 of all TV shows and 1 in 3 of all songs on the radio and stuff have to be Canadian.
So I imagine it's nothing but Drake and The Weeknd all the time, right?
It used to be Justin, but not anymore. Or like Nickelback. That's how Nickelback basically got their exposure.
They never made it as the wise man, and they couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing.
God, I hate all of you. This is why we play
We're
games.
ruining your show.
I will always find a way. I will always find a way.
This is what this podcast is you saying horrible puns and I just grunt horrible.
Somebody should draw that. Yeah, I have like a live subscriber feed, and I just noticed that it went down the second that pun was made. Thanks.
Everybody, just
some people are giving me a 7.
Oh, now it's back up. We're good.
Some are giving me a
people
9
unsubscribe, just cut their Wi-Fi off, smash their computers, kill their cat. I don't know. Yes.
Oh, that's a bit too far.
Well, no, because you're a cat, and so people can never look.
Why
at
would
another...
they kill? Whatever.
Because they can.
So one new thing that happened for me too is that in 2018 I started doing 2 videos a week, and that's going well.
Yeah.
People apparently like hot takes, so I did hot takes on Mondays now.
Oh my.
It
what
works.
Are hot takes? For explanation, for context?
Basically when you have to write or make something to capitalize on a trend really fast, but fast enough that you don't like have the time to do the research or have a nuanced or informed opinion about it, because it's like easier in like the speed of the blogosphere to just write like an opinion way before you have the time to do all the research and everything like that, and so it's called a hot takes. They're typically very opinionated and very uninformed.
Man, if I think if I did that, I would be just crucified. If I have so many, this is my opinion on this certain thing. Everything
knowing
just
you
dislikes
and the
it.
size and makeup of your audience, you ride a fucking like razor blade, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Discord sort of debacle shows that.
Hey, it's created Discord within your community.
Oh my gosh!
Why are you a part? Why are either of you a part of this thing? Why didn't I?
Because you need us.
That's true. That is true. Damn,
I just got a subscriber for that, so I think that was a reward.
I think that's completely unrelated.
In the meantime, I recently, like a few days ago, I made a poll for like what like video they want me to make next, like out of my lecture videos or my talking videos. I still haven't decided an official name for those. And the overwhelming choice, because I had no idea this was a meme.
Yeah.
It's going to be a video about Huey Long, and I had no idea it was a Kaiserreich meme from Hearts of Iron 4. So that like won like 59% of the vote over the other 2. So I guess that's going to be my video.
I want to do a Kaiser. I want to do.
Are you going to talk about his brothers, Dewey and Louis Long too? Is that too old now? Is that too old a reference?
Get out, Tristan, get out.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie Long.
Every
You know, I
name
just
will be
realized.
achieved
You know what? I
except
just
for
realized.
you.
I realized that if I wasn't a part of this podcast, I wouldn't watch it. I would have clicked off
Oh,
like.
no.
I would have clicked off like 20 minutes ago. I would have been like, "Oh, this is just stupid." Bye. Boop.
Well, let's do something entertaining. What's a thing that we can say that will make people happy?
If nothing will make people happy, nothing will make me happy. We are unhappy people. That is the. Let's just, you know, we should just have like the So That Happened sadness hour, and all we do is just complain on live stream, complain about everything, and
Every day is festive
that's when we
for
take
us,
out.
and
That's when we
always
take
air
out
our
the
grievances.
Tiger Star. That's when we take out the Jack. That's when we do it. It'll be the sadness drinking hour. But
At least for you, I'll stick to the Coke.
Jeez.
man, context, man. What
Fun story.
I think
Actually, you know
what I
have a
did.
fun story about Jack.
What?
About Jack Daniels.
What?
All right. So, for a long time, when I was, a younger person, I would get belligerently drunk on Valentine's Day, as per the single person's tradition.
Of course.
And I think my mom had called me about something, and I wasn't paying much attention. But like the joke that I was making at that time was that I was going out with Jack on Valentine's Day, as like a thing about like I'm just gonna go get shit faced.
Oof.
And then, but my mom decided that, or my mom interpreted that differently, and
Oh.
she had a whole like discussion about how she loves and accepts me for no matter who I end up with and who they are, or what kind of lifestyle I choose to live. And it's like, oh god.
Thank you, Mom,
That's not
for
what I
accepting my
meant, but thank
alcoholism.
you.
I would just take that as thank you, Mom, for accepting my alcoholism, as I just pour more. Oh boy, what a loving and accepting family I have.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cody, do we want to drop a hint about what we plan to do together as a collaboration?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So for the last month, I finally upload a video. So Tristan, I'm much like you. I have a great schedule of 2 videos a month. Yippee! That's my hot takes. But now that I finally have, so I have 2 videos that I finished, and I have another video that actually is due tomorrow. And that will go out later this week. I don't know when. I think it's probably gonna be around Wednesday or Thursday. And it's gonna be about the Battle of Midway. But after that, then I can finally get to talking about. Oh wait, actually, no. I have another video next week. But basically, the 2 weeks from now, me and Tiger Star are going to have another Turtle Dove book video. And we
And
thought
it's going to be so history related. You know why, Cody?
So history related. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know why?
Why?
What if aliens invaded during World War II?
Gosh darn it!
Did I kill something?
No, I actually think it was good. Yeah, no, you did good. You did good. So yeah, we're
That's
gonna
the
do a
only
video
Turtle Dove book I have.
about. We're gonna talk about Harry Turtledove's series on when aliens invade during World War II. We're gonna talk about the lore of it, and it's gonna be the weirdest thing we've ever done, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it in the style of those cheesy Flash Gordon, sort of either like a cheesy Flash Gordon or like one of those like aliens from space 1950s sort of B movies, and I'm gonna make it in that sort of style.
I can even make a parody Flash Gordon theme song.
You should, and it would just
Yes.
it'd be so weird. And
Dun, 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 dun,
yep, so it's gonna be a 4-part series, and maybe Turtle Dove will see it.
We're
Who
doing
knows?
4 parts?
I thought. Wait, how many parts were doing? I thought you said I was doing 2 parts.
I thought we decided on 2 because we were only doing the main 4 books. We didn't want to go to
Oh
the
yeah,
sequel
okay. So
series.
it's gonna be okay. Good. Okay, so it's only 2
But
parts.
do
Then.
you want to
No.
go into the sequel series?
No,
Okay.
I like the 2 parts. Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
the conversation.
2 parts.
Yeah,
Part 1 on his channel, part 2 on mine.
and that'll be good. That'll
Yeah.
Whenever I do part 2s on videos, they always they always take forever. So I don't know. I don't know why. Because I always get either distracted by something else, or the schedule just takes it away, and then next thing you know, it's a month or two later, and then it's I have to have that part 2 done. So I think every single time I've ever done a part 2 on a video, it's been at least a month or two later. Because I think, what did we do? We did the Southern History video,
Yes.
and I think that it went up in like May, and then it was like a whole month or so because I went to VidCon, and then only after VidCon and after I got another video finished, then I got the Southern History video part 2 finished, and or part 3. It was part 3 because you did part 2.
Yeah.
Oh boy, memories. Am I right, ladies?
You did declare.
I do declare the vapors. But yeah, oh man, this year I'm actually excited for this year. I have a series of projects in the works. I'm thinking about doing.
Man show, your musical.
I'm going on Broadway. Yes, I'm gonna use my.
What if the alternate history Hub musical?
And the main character of the musical is, of course, Jimmy.
Everybody's just dressed as my characters, though. Just giant cardboard versions of my characters. And it's like, oh, look, there's Tiger Star. And then it just is a giant cardboard Tiger Star just waddles out. And it's just
featuring
like
Lin-Manuel
flops.
Miranda as God Emperor Alexander Hamilton the First.
And there's the angry Discord, and it's just like a bunch of other people to drag the poor Tiger Star away. And it just, oh no! What if that didn't happen? And that's the whole thing. 30 seconds, entire musical. Bye everybody, go home. That's what you get. That's all we came up with.
4 Tonys.
What if
Animaniacs episode.
you know what would be the greatest thing? We'd need a musical. We would make a musical where everyone just wings it.
Here's the thing, chat. Cody secretly wants to EGOT before he retires. And he's only like 22, so like he's got a long time.
Aw, shucks.
But you still have no letters in your EGOT, but you're starting with the Tony because that's the hard one.
Yeah, the Tony, you gotta aim for the top, and then everything else is just an easy ride to the bottom.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like an Oscar is like whatever.
Yeah. See, you see
Grammy
the thing is
does
the
it.
easier the award, the more cocaine you can do. So if you do the Tony, then you can just do the lower, like it's an easier ride down to the bottom, and then I die at like 50 from an overdose, and that'll be the thing. That'll be the legacy.
But what you can do is you can get all 4 of your awards melted down into like a gold necklace that you can wear around everywhere.
Ooh,
like
I like
it's
it.
It like actually is like a golden EGOT. It's like one of those like big bling necklaces.
And then if things go really bad, I can sell it because my career was over. And
Unless it's a Grammy, because again, those are a dime a dozen, so those would be worthless.
oh, I could throw my Grammys at people who have better awards.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yes,
I could just sit on the edge. I could just like stay outside the Oscars with my bucket of Grammys, just a bucket, just right next to me. And whenever stars come out with their Oscars, I just chuck Grammys at them, trying to steal their better awards. It'll be better. That's how I'll get it. That's how I'll do the O. I won't even bother with the movies.
Probably haven't gotten a streamy by now.
Oh god. I don't think I would ever do a YouTube Red thing. Ever. I've seen every single thing I have seen, which is a YouTuber that I actually like. If it's YouTube Red, it is just atrocious. It is just the cringiest pile of garbage.
And you know why? Like, YouTube Red is like a PG-13 equivalent of the Disney Channel.
Yeah, because it's a reflection of what YouTube wants to be. They don't even want to be a streaming service. They just want to be Disney Channel or Nick, because that is the easiest way to have ad-friendly content. Netflix and Hulu.
I mean, Nick actually made me laugh a few times as a kid. So I'm not
talking cartoon Nick. I'm talking live action Nick.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Well, Drake and Josh
You know,
was
there
okay.
is kind of a Nickelodeon property to a lot of those like really big bloggers.
yeah, but maybe we shouldn't use Nickelodeon as a slur. Okay, fine, Disney Channel. Okay, Disney Channel. You want to go with that? Okay,
This
fine. Happy?
CW.
Yeah,
Jeez.
there's also like a Disney Star attribute to a lot of vloggers too.
Well, it's because they
Logan Paul
literally are
came
Disney.
from
I
Disney.
mean, yeah, that's what Jake Paul was before he got kicked off his show, and then Logan Paul. Paul brothers are gonna crash in like the next 3 years,
Along with Bitcoin.
guarantee. Oh yeah, along with Bitcoin. That was
I was planning on making a video maybe in the future where I'm going to talk about Tulip Mania and I'm going to make a fake commercial for Tulip Coin.
a tulip coin. But no,
Sounds
YouTube Red. We gotta stick on topic. Guys. YouTube Red. I think I saw a thing for Game Grumps, and it was something called Game On or something. And it was just so horrendous because you take a concept of two guys just let's playing, and then they make it this live action game tournament thing, and it looks like it was filmed in 2008 for like Disney, because all of them have that Disney Channel feel to them. They all got filmed with like the same cameras, and they have horrible they just have horrible shot placement.
Wait, this technically isn't YouTube Red, but when I saw Smosh's like new game show thing, I think I died a little inside.
Oh god, Smosh
the
has a new game
Vsauce show
show.
looks decent.
Well, yeah, because Vsauce.
Vsauce is the only good thing. Vsauce is the only good thing YouTube Red has ever made. That is it.
Because educational stuff is always fun, no matter how cheesy it is.
But that's the only
Especially
educational thing they've ever
how
made.
cheesy it is.
That they've never made another educational. I don't even know if they really make that many shows for
Oh my
YouTube
gosh,
Red.
Cody, maybe you should join YouTube Red. You could like take up 50% of the YouTube Red education market.
Oh god.
Drunker history.
Everybody would be like, who is
Drunkest history.
drunkest history? Oh man, that's coming back this week, isn't it?
You put on like really bad Disney Channel-esque level production of like scenes from an alternate reality, and it's horrible. But you
Okay,
get the big
this is
bucks.
actually funny. I actually was once offered a TV deal.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It wasn't like you think. Okay, so basically, last year, or it was 2 years ago, I don't remember. I was still living in my old apartment. Oh, okay, so it was 2015. I was it was 2016. I got contact from Discovery Channel, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing a new TV show called What If? We're gonna make a pilot." I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool." And they're like, "We want you to be the host because we saw your channel." And I was like, "Oh, that's really awesome." And they're like, "Yeah, do you want to do an interview for it?" And I said, "Okay." So, I'm pretty pumped, pretty excited for the next 2 days. Lady emails me the basically PDF for what their pitch for the show was. And my heart just sank because it was not like the history what if. It was like the science what if. Like
Oh.
not like universe stuff, but shit like what if Godzilla existed? That was actually a thing.
Man, that would be a terrible video.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's worse because the thing is they basically wanted to do a Mythbusters. So the way that their concept for the show was we would basically talk about like a question, like what if Godzilla was real? And the way that they would do experiments for it was by having people like do these wacky freaking like tests, like running through a field as balls or like creating these giant models.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
it's
my
Deadliest
God.
Warrior, but worse.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just as soon as I was reading it, and what was worse is this was their only idea. They actually came to me and they said, "Do you have any other ideas?" And I said, like, what if the Nazis won World War II or something like that? Like, no, we mean like of what if something was real? How do you? I said, how do you test that? How do you test what if this giant monster lizard was real?
I'm
By having
literally
people run through fields with a ball
literally
or
just imagining the show, and like you're the host, and you're like, so today we're going to examine what if Godzilla was real. What say you, randomly selected expert that no one's ever heard of before? Well, based on every scientific study, we know that Godzilla does not exist because he's a mythological creature, so he can't exist. How fascinating! Have you done experiments? Yes, we have people in the lab right now, and you have a person in like a mascot doing whatever.
We found a way to make something explode.
And then it'll have like 90s computer effects where, like, you know, you see like typefaces show up on the screen, like, quote, analyzing like 5,000 pounds of strength.
we're gonna take this to the lab, and it just shows a bunch of assholes dressed up as like they're like dressed up as
and then they
balls.
high-five each other because of course they do, and then they just test everything.
And that was the only idea they had.
But wait, what if there is a Godzilla? What if there's also a King Kong? Oh, we had never thought of this before. And
What
then
if
at the end,
Cthulhu, the Lord of Darkness, rose from the sea? Let's experiment it with these squid! And they just throw squid on the grass. See, these squid are obviously dying on the grass, so Cthulhu couldn't live on land. That would be...
I'm good to say.
This would make like the AMC alternate history show. If you remember that, that would make that.
Oh, that's Spike.
Look like
That was a Spike.
like amazing. Oh, Spike, right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
That would make that look amazing in comparison.
And so, oh my god. So basically, this wasn't even an actual show. This was a pilot they were pitching. And I told them.
That pilot crashed.
And I asked them, do you know what my channel is? And they were like, yeah, yours is about the what if and stuff. I said, yours is about alternate history. I said, do you know what alternate history is? Do you know it's actually about, like, history, not about Godzilla? Because I guarantee all they did was they saw my biggest video at the time, which was the Godzilla video, and they were like, wow, he sure knows what he's talking about. So they copied that idea, and they implemented that as a sort of thing. They thought that because I had that idea, that I must have all these other ones. And I told them flat out in the interview, I'm sorry, I don't think this can work out. And I just ended the Skype call. And it was just, it was the awkwardest meeting because they had no idea what they were going to do for the show. I even asked them more ideas. I said, what do you have? And they're like, oh, well, what ideas do you have? And
you have a new slogan for the show, for the channel, though, about the what if and stuff.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have assholes dressing up as Godzilla running through a field.
I mean,
you know, you know that meme where like it's those people like sitting in like a corporate center, and you have the guy like with the diagram, and he goes, "Okay, guys, what do we do to make this what if thing take off?" And you're the guy at the end of the table, just like all smug, just go, "How about actual alternate history?" Glares at you, drop kicks you out the window.
To be honest, I don't think an actual alternate history TV show could ever work. Ever. Like, an actual...
Oh, Man in the High Castle.
No, but I mean, alternate history at its core is fiction. That is the point of it. As a YouTube video, for like a 5 to 10 minute YouTube video, yes, it works fine. It works good because...
I think it depends on the format, because like if you had like a 30-minute episode where like you debated on a certain topic, you could probably pull that off, because like some podcasts do that.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like bringing debate. I'm talking like if you had like a full, just like that Spike TV show, basically having one super in-depth scenario, basically acting like it was the only thing that possibly could happen. I don't think that would work as a TV show. That works as a YouTube.
I could see it working. Like you could interview historians that were willing to talk to you about it. You could find some historian who would talk about it, and you could talk. You could use it. What the trick is you should use the alternate history scenario to talk about the significance of the actual history event that you're talking about. Like, What
Okay.
if World War
Yeah,
II was
I
won
get
by the
that.
Nazis would be a springboard for you talking about how significant World War II was for how the world works today.
So basically, just a big alternate history hub video. That would basically be kind of, but more in depth on the history. Just way
And
more.
Yeah,
plus,
and
like,
it come around at the end to being like why like use the alternate history to show about like why historical events are significant, why they're not like isolated things. They're
Yeah.
pivotal to how the
and
world
plus,
works.
you
That's what
think
I
about
kind
it,
of
a
do. That's
lot
what I
of
try to
these-
do in my videos. Is like that's the whole sort of thing is to show the significance of these events. And I don't know. It's like I must not explain it well enough or something because everybody always takes it as this is 100% the way that it would happen. Even though I say multiple times this isn't. They're like, oh, well, this is like you're basically just predicting stuff without knowing it. It's like, no, that's not the point of the channel. The point of the channel is to get your mind running. It's to get you interested in this history.
Well, see,
which
that's your
people-
problem right there. You have to assume that their minds will actually run.
Yeah, I've had many people tell me that they weren't interested in a historical topic until they saw my video, and it uh, gave them sort of that way of thinking. Oh, I never thought of that before. Like I never thought of it in this light. And if you take away a historical event or change a historical event, it shows why that thing's important, and that's the whole point of the channel. But apparently a lot of people don't get that. That's like the thing that always annoys me. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I was once offered.
Yeah.
I was once offered a TV show, and the TV show never went anywhere because I never saw it on Discovery Channel or never.
I was once interviewed for a TV show
Oh.
based on Step Back, but it never went anywhere. They were going to be doing like I think it was going to be like a reality TV show where like kind of like the Who Do You Think You Are type thing.
Yeah.
But it was going to be like Who Do You Think You Are, but with but on a different channel, I think. And it was going to be like a knockoff of that show, and I would be the
Suddenly.
historian on it.
That's pretty cool.
But I got the interview, and I don't think the show ever went anywhere, or they went with someone else. I don't know. I don't watch TV, so I don't really know if the show ever happened.
Yeah, I don't really watch TV. No, none of us. Does anybody even watch TV? I saw this thing that said, I think 60% of people between age 18 and 25 only stream. Nobody uses TVs anymore.
I will watch TV if it's like late enough. Like, and there's still certain things that I'll watch on TV, like Masterpiece and stuff like that I would want to see on a grander size screen, like a TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
I watch I sit in front of a television and watch it, but it's because of a Chromecast.
Oh.
So like I watch Netflix on my TV.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about like TV as in like TV or computer or iPad. I mean cable.
Yeah, like I don't watch.
Yeah.
I haven't watched cable. The only time I watch cable now is over the Christmas holidays when I'm with my in-laws.
Yeah, same. Like I only watch.
In that case, like cable, it's like only like Masterpiece. I don't really care about sports, but I technically watch the Super Bowl sometimes when that comes on, and then you like at late at night. That's when like they're playing all like the '90s cartoons that I'm way too nostalgic about, and I'll
Yeah.
watch those. And then that's about it in terms of TV.
Yeah, I only watch. I haven't really followed football that much this year, which what are you gonna do? But I don't have cable.
Well, all
so.
I know is that the Patriots suck and they must lose.
My brother accidentally. So this is the funny thing. My brother and me both hate the Patriots. Like we just absolutely
Like
despise
I don't
them.
even care about football, and I hate
but
the Patriots.
The thing is my brother got invited to a Super Bowl party, and then he finds out the next day it's a Patriots Super Bowl party.
Oh,
So
no.
he somehow got himself wrapped in with a bunch of Patriots fans, and I just laughed at him. I said, "Oh, you in for a good time, buddy. It's better than it's better than
Why do people
Eagles
hate
fans."
the Patriots? Is it just because they win all the time?
Yeah, it's because they went out.
Part of it is that they win all the time. Some people, well, a lot of people, including myself, think Tom Brady's kind of a douchebag. And then there have been several iffy situations where they've pretty much cheated and got away with it. And so, a lot of people don't.
But
I will
Philly
say,
fans,
I love Tom Brady, but only for one particular reason. Because I know literally nothing about him at all except that he plays football. But I was in a group of friends who wanted to play fantasy football, and I had no idea how it worked. I literally I'm like, all right, whatever. Like when I did the draft, I picked like 7 running backs or something. I don't even know what that means. But one of the things that it was is it was
so
the
Canadian.
2008 2009 season, I think. No, 2009 2010 season, and that was when Tom Brady had just come back from an injury. And so nobody was like, he was getting very low odds for things, but then apparently he like kicks major ass and got me a lot of points because he kept doing like really well despite the odds being against him, and something about how fantasy football works, I don't know. And so I ended up like getting to like the fake Super Bowl in this fantasy league with like no knowledge of what was going on.
Beginner's luck. And I'm just like,
I remember probably like the best football moment of my life was back in 2012 when it was the Patriots versus the Giants. And I was still in high school. All the Patriots fans were super annoying, and this was the season where they had won literally every single game that season, and all they had left was the Super Bowl, and they were up against the New York Giants.
Yeah.
And because the Patriots fans were so annoying and I wanted them to shut up, I bet them each $20 that the Giants were going to win. And the Giants won. And like no one else rooted for the Giants at all. So I should have gotten like $100 from that, but no, they decided not to pay. But I still had the prestige of being right, and they avoided me for like the next 3 days. It was pretty great.
I'm avoiding a lot of people I owe money to. No, it's a joke. That's a joke. Anyway. Who has people in the background?
I have a relative that was a Blackhawk.
Wait, what?
I have a distant relative who used to be on the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the tribe, and I thought that was a random way to culturally appropriate for some reason.
No, like the hockey, the stick ice team.
Yeah, I know that. I know. It caught me off guard. Yeah. But anyway, TV and stuff and YouTube Red. I give YouTube Red probably like 3-4 years. They're gonna stop it because I don't know why.
It's the failure successor to Google Plus. First, they
like
got
YouTube
Google Plus
is
and
not...
kept awkwardly trying to push it for like 4 years until they just stopped forcing everyone to keep their Google Plus, and now they're doing it with YouTube Red.
It'd be interesting to see how long they can get people to pay $10 a month because they can't figure out ad blocker.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Now that I just thought about it.
The difference is that if you get YouTube Red, that money is still going towards your creators at least, and there are some people who hate ads, but they still feel bad about hurting their creators.
Just go to their Patreon. If you have a creator that you want to support.
Yeah, but not all of them have Patreon.
No,
they should.
I think
half of them are like losing their status. Or
okay, how about I take this back? How about not YouTube Red as in like the content, but like YouTube Red as in like the movies and the TV shows and stuff that they try to make from it.
Yeah.
That will die.
YouTube's probably going to. I think that their next step is going to be more that they bake in something like Patreon into their system.
Yeah, that is the way.
Kind of have that with like super chats.
I think with live stream.
I got my like first super chats today. It was crazy.
I need to.
What's a super chat?
Basically,
it's where people can pay money. Yeah, like if somebody in the chat right now wanted to get your attention or get like wave their hands, they would put some money up and their chat would be big and colored and it would stick on the screen for a longer time.
And there'd be a list on your live stream page somewhere where they're all collected. So like, if you want to do question time, you can go, I'll answer the super chats. And then like, like $1 gives them like 50 characters to type up their question. And then $2 gives them 100 and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Feels kind of dirty.
No, not really, because they're choosing to do it. And
yeah,
I've been to some live streams where like people are willing to spend like $50 on a super chat.
Wow.
Yeah. So I made $17 today, which is like probably 700 Canadian dollars.
Like, what would we do if we had a super chat? We just split the money 3 ways, right? Like,
I guess.
I don't know how that.
I don't know if it would.
I'd be so utterly confused. What would happen with that? Weird.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a thing.
Who would pay money?
How about you keep my share of the super chats on here in exchange for more collabs?
Yeah, I'd take some collabs.
Oh my god. Is that the only reason we're friends? It's because of my subscribers. I am more than a number.
No.
I am more than a number. I can't
Ever
believe
since
You're
I
also
saw
a figure.
ever since I saw you ate a double-digit percentage of a cow, like I knew we'd be buddies.
Oh, man. I want to go back to VidCon just for that one, just to do that again.
I told you that if I was doing well enough on Step Back by next year, that I would do it too.
Oh,
And this time you'll eat the potatoes.
actually, I wasn't thinking about going to VidCon, but just if you're actually doing good enough, I will go to VidCon just so we can have that steak. To be honest, I'll do it.
I need to go to VidCon.
You do.
You do it. Well,
First
I just we'll completely avoid the actual convention, and we'll just do that. It'll be great. Actually, do I even need? VidCon?
I've actually been lobbying VidCon for a panel, so I'm trying to see if that goes through. But
So that happened panel at VidCon.
Oh.
If we get 5 people, then it would be worth it.
The real
it's
life.
actually it would be a panel on education and the arts and humanities. So
I actually have I've actually started sort of talking to newer other creators too. There's this guy called Arcad. His name starts with an A, but he basically he's a brand new YouTuber. His content's fantastic. So I actually think, I wonder if he would want to be on the podcast. He's actually pretty good. He does what if. He kind of does what if stuff, but it's not like history
what
stuff.
If thing?
Yeah, but it's not like history stuff.
Like
it's
science, like what if?
Yeah,
if
it's
Godzilla
like
existed?
like he talks about stuff like world building, like if like a gas giant, like if the world was a gas giant, or if there
What's his
was
channel called again, so that everybody can.
I'm gonna look up his name because I feel so bad for forget. It's a very long name. It is Artifexian. That's his name, Artifexian. I'll actually
okay.
put it
How do
in
we
the.
spell that?
I'll actually put a link to it in the live stream.
Somebody put it Artifexian. Like, okay.
Yep, Artifexian. So.
Thanks, mythology guy. I know that guy. He's a Step Back subscriber.
Oh boy. I'm gonna click on that. Yep, but
Cody, sometime we need to, like, whether it's a podcast episode or an individual video, just make a video where we shout out all the cool education channels that everyone should subscribe to.
Yeah.
There are a lot. Actually, to be honest, this is the reason I'm so sort of angry at YouTube for this whole. They did a thing. You know what I'm talking about? How they've cutted the content for like under 40. Is that affecting you guys?
No.
Not too much.
The change with like taking people off the partner program if they're like not making 4,000 watch hours a year and have less than 1,000 subscribers. That's not affecting. I don't think that's affecting either of us. I have one friend who's getting super royally screwed over by it because he's like at over 1,000 subscribers, like almost at 2,000, but has like 80% of the watch time needed.
Oh.
And that's Art Explains. You guys should go to that. Art Explains. ART Explains. It's an education channel. It's really good. And he's a history channel too.
But anyway, yeah, I think it would be cool if we just start adding. We actually do start doing these guest people and.
Yeah, podcasts have guests.
Yeah, so we could do that. Why have we not done it? Let's do it. I mean, I think we've done good enough for. We've done good enough that we can finally start. I don't know, sort of spreading out and bringing more people in the podcast and talk about.
We have legions of fan.
Yes, we have dozens of fans.
Yes,
they will love it.
We need to make our own VidCon, but solely for the educational YouTubers.
Actually, there's something like that happening the day before VidCon. Yeah, there's like an educational pre-VidCon that's being organized by a online education YouTuber community
nice.
called Elite Crit EDU. and it's in like collaboration with YouTube itself. So it's gonna be pretty crazy. I think I'm definitely doing a panel at that one.
So Cody,
wait,
how do you
wait! I
educate
didn't even know that
people?
was going on. That's actually a thing.
What's it called? It's what's it called? It's the same group that hosted that party that we met at.
Yeah. So, oh, cool. Huh.
So Cody, how does your channel educate people? Well, technically, I don't. I just make everything up.
You know, actually, I've
Oh,
realized this. I've realized
interesting.
this over the last year. I'm like not. Alternate History Hub is like it's an educational channel, but it's not. It has educational elements, and
It's an educational gateway drug.
yeah, it has
Like,
it
I would
has
say it's
educational
more.
history stuff. It teaches history, um, but it also isn't an educational channel because if you're comparing it to stuff like real life lore or Wendover or Second Thought or Vertassium
For us,
or you guys,
Yeah.
actual like history, just pure educational channels. Knowledge Hub is an educational channel, but Alternate History Hub is just I don't know. It's like a weird. I would call it a celebration of education, but it also is mixed in with um my sort of fiction and artistic sort of abilities, which is why in the last couple videos things have started getting weird. Is because if Alternate History Hub is going to be its own weird thing, then it's going to be the best at its own weird thing. There's like nothing to compare it to. So I've started taking these inspirations from all of these other sources, not educational wise, uh, particularly from sort of review channels. People like Cosmonaut Cosmonaut Variety Hour, um, Robo Buddies, just like people who just review stuff and they have these weird and like editing techniques and it is really charming. I've started adapting that for my stuff, and then I don't know. I'm sort of bringing in a bunch of stuff from YouTube channels I watch and making an educational channel that isn't an educational channel. And Alternate History Hub's just going to be really weird. It's going to be its own thing. So it's going to be funnier.
well, you're kind of at the point where now you're your own.
Yeah, but it's also like last year I kind of had an identity crisis. I didn't know what Alternate History Hub was. I was like, am I a history channel? Am I an educational channel? If I'm an educational channel, why? Like, sort of stuff like that. And I think
He's
after
talking to
VidCon,
his therapist.
yeah, after VidCon, I realized I'm not an educational channel. Like, I'm not like that. Even though educational channels are great and they're great guys, don't get me wrong.
You are thought-provoking entertainment.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You're like Game of Thrones or something.
Well,
no,
I don't know about that.
Or,
but it's like the low. It's kind of like the gateway edutainment. That's what it is. It's gateway edutainment.
You're making history buff so that we can survive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to get people interested in history. Like, why do I find history interesting? It's because I think about how history influences stuff. So I make videos about that, how history influences stuff. And now it started taking on a more fictional stuff because, oh man, I told you Tiger Star, but do you think I should tell people in this live stream about the secret project? Or
Which secret project?
the secret project I told you about yesterday?
Well, that depends. If you tell them too early, then they'll forget about it. If that
No,
makes
I'm not gonna announce
Also,
the whole thing. I'm
you'll
just saying.
create hype and
Yeah, okay. I'll just say this. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm going to get into fiction. So I'm not gonna say what the topic is. But basically, I felt like the next step for like my path in alternate history was to do what alternate history originally was, and it was fiction.
people living on the moon.
And so there, I'm not gonna say too much, but basically by the
He's
end of
directing the next Star Wars movie.
by the end of this year, I'll have a published alternate history story, and it's in a collaboration with I'm working with another YouTuber who I'm not gonna say, until everything is sort of settled and we can have it 100% official. But I will say that it is based on a recent topic that I just did a video on, and it's actually it's gonna be an alternate history novel. So
What if Godzilla was real? The
it's adapted into an anime, and they put it on Netflix.
What's it called? The What If thing. Cody Franklin. It's autobiography.
it'll be.
It's just
it'll
what
be
if
an anime about Godzilla attacking.
I need
his
to
home
I
in
need to write a
Ohio,
book
and it'll
called
just be
What If.
It'll just be called Attack on Ohio, and it just shows giant Godzilla attacking a giant wall built around the state of Ohio.
I'm just imagining having my character on a book, and it's just called "What If Cody Wasn't Such a Dick?" An alternate history tale, and it just shows me with like a Jack and Coke, and I look all like sophisticated, and that's that'll be with the book. That'll be with the book. But anyway, yeah. So I'm actually like super excited for whatever this project will be, and yeah. So that's sort of the thing that I don't know. The channel Alternate History Hub is just gonna get weirder with age. It's like Frank Reynolds, you know. It's gonna
Once
be
you
weird.
tap all the good histories, you have to get into the weird ones.
I haven't even tapped all the good histories yet. That's like that's the
What
thing.
if Cody had tuna sandwich today?
The thing that annoys me so much is when people say like, "Oh, have you ran out of ideas? Have you ran out of ideas?" It's like, no, I haven't ran out of ideas. I just don't know if other people will care about these ideas.
Exactly. I run into the same problem.
And with this Mussolini Roman Empire video, the views on this is actually really good, even though it's such a small topic. And I realize it's because of the 5-minute video. The more specific I have a topic, the shorter the video has to be. And I could actually...
I took you gave me advice a few months ago to be way less specific and be like way more general and like, you know,
we're
get
different
out of my, like,
though.
historian bubble. Yeah, we're at different places and we're doing different stuff. But like my thing is that I have tons of ideas. It's just that tons of them live in a drawer for when I am relevant enough that I can do something that's not like
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing.
Like me,
is
like
at
me
first
making a video next week about Huey Long, I couldn't have done that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and so it's like, I don't know, first you have to build up, you have to be more general, and I mean, how I think when I first started out, all of my stuff was basically like, what if Rome never fell? And that was like a 7-part series, or what if the World War II, and these were just like these were like PowerPoint presentations. And then the only thing that actually grew the channel was the super general pop fiction stuff like Godzilla or Fallout. And so, you know, now that I actually have a sizable audience, I can get weird. I can afford to sort of take those chances.
Although I am proud of some of the times I did go weird. Like my Nestor Mackino video got me a lot of my diehard fans of a very specific variety.
Even at your size, though, you should still be weird occasionally. Like it you know, just going too general.
If you want to be broad enough to entrap people in, but you don't want to be broad enough to where you lose what makes you distinct from everyone else.
You shouldn't talk and fap at the same time.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what is happening back there? This is just such good advice. Oh man.
He's applauding his own like his own like line there.
I'm just imagining like inspirational music as a single light shines down on Tiger Star as his words of wisdom of how to be a YouTube god. Anyway, no.
I called them someday videos, and I've got a big list of them. But I'm happy with where I am. It's helped a lot. That has been probably the best advice I've ever been given, Cody. At least in like tangible, real effects on making my channel successful, which is fitting because you're the person who gave me all the advice on how to actually do my YouTube channel before I even started Step Back in 2015. You're the one who said that you can make a video using Google Slides.
Oh yeah, you were just like a random guy that emailed me, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, I'll just, and then we had a chat, and then yeah, that's weird.
That's how it started.
Don't bring up the past; it makes me existential. And
Another thing you can do though is now that YouTube Community is a thing, where you could literally send posts to your subscribers in their subscription box. You can also make polls with that. So if you ever want like, oh, I'm not sure which idea would be much more popular with my audience, you can give them like those 2 or 3 options in a poll, and it should go to their subscription feed.
oh yeah,
Hopefully, just so
I've done
YouTube
that. I've
works.
been doing that with Twitter. I've started doing that with uh
That's how they picked the Huey Long video.
Yeah.
yeah.
Although my videos are made like on like a month-long rotation.
I
so,
will
like,
say though that implementation that YouTube has done to make it a lot more social, like the that sort of thing, I love that. Like it actually is
It's
a
much
good.
better than Google Plus.
the community tab, you mean?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
much better. I can actually directly talk to the audience and say like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep you updated. This is what is happening. And because if I think my Twitter followers is like 15,000. Like that's it. Like that's a fraction of the audience that's even getting any news at all. Because for a vast majority of people, all they see is just the occasional YouTube video, and that's it. Um, but
Yep.
with this sort of tab thing, you can at least say, "Hey, I'm not dead. Stick around for more." And that's it's such a great thing that YouTube implemented. Um,
Yeah, I could see more of that being useful too.
it makes
I'd
up
love
for them.
if, like,
Makes up for them killing the inbox back in 2013.
yeah, and then they
Oh
should,
my gosh, I remember that.
I still haven't forgiven them.
I still haven't
For a
forgiven them
long
for getting
time.
rid of video responses.
A long time ago when YouTube had a subscription like tab and a friends tab.
Remember when the trending tab didn't exist? That was
I
a good
remember.
time.
Well, I remember there used to be like a trending tab kind of. It was just like the most viewed videos of the day.
Yeah, but remember when it wasn't just TV trash? That was a good time. I've made the mistake of going on the trending tab, and nothing makes you feel like, why am I doing this with my life, more than the trending tab. Like regular people, they'll go onto the trending tab and they'll be like, oh wow, this YouTube's stupid, and stuff like that. Like it's all just like TV garbage. But for me,
Yeah, but see,
when I
like,
go onto the trending tab, I think of like, what is even the point of being a YouTuber? Like, do I like calling yourself a YouTuber now is cringy, and even the fact that I said that right now makes me actually cringe. So it's like you say content creator now, or you say something. You're just a person that happens to upload videos on YouTube because it's just the way that the site.
online educator sounds so fancy.
I'm an online educator. Oh boy. I make.
But like my channel is small enough to where if one of my videos ever appeared on the trending, at first I'd be like, here we go. And then I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh right, I'm a small channel. I want this. Hooray. I want exposure.
Yeah, man. Like, I'd take any expo. Like, what's it called? You guys are talking about the whole like discovery thing. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd do it. I'd fucking wear the Godzilla costume. I'm not proud.
I mean,
Yeah, that's-
very few people.
That's your legacy, though, Tristan. If you get famous from if you have your YouTube channel be popular in the future, people will
Sean
always hold.
Spicer was like the Easter bunny at like an Easter celebration at the Bush White House. You can recover.
Well, and look
Yeah,
at
I
him
like to
now.
base my life choices on Sean Spicer.
Shut. What's it called? Did a speech at the Golden Globes.
Uh,
Just saying. I am proud.
anyway.
I will do the YouTube version of Eat the Thing That Fell on the Floor.
Oh man, no, just no. Anyway, yeah. So that I'm trying to think, but yeah, I don't know. Just get weird with it. Let's get weird with the YouTube. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say I'm excited for 2018 because
But cautiously optimistic.
whenever anybody says I'm excited, usually a meteor smashes through their house or something bad happens. Like there's no possible way this can go wrong, and then it's like the It's Always Sunny thing. The game,
What could possibly go wrong?
something goes wrong.
My 2018 plan is to keep doing all the things that I'm doing now without it all falling apart.
That is my plan too. That's a good plan for all of us. You hear that, children? Do
It's
what you're doing.
all a part of the
Unless you're
plan.
doing drugs, don't do drugs because don't do drugs, kiddies.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do drugs, share it with the class because that's just selfish. So.
Do we want to answer any questions?
Oh, I didn't even ask questions on the YouTube on Twitter.
Yeah, you can do Twitter.
You know what?
Maybe
I'm gonna ask
super
right now.
chats in the last minute.
I'm gonna ask right now. I'm gonna say we're taking questions on the live stream. You guys could talk if you want while I type because I can't multitask at all. Also, if anybody has any questions,
Edward Segerstar, what's your next video going to be about?
Well, it's about Huey Long.
Cool.
Yeah.
Raging Cajun himself.
Yes, he is like the only person that you could describe as like a dictator of a state, like as in like a U.S. state, which is such a weird concept when you think about it. I'm dictator of Louisiana.
My next video that comes out tomorrow is on the Doomsday Clock.
Ah, yes, because it just inched closer.
Yeah, and that's my like hot take video describing what it is that the Doomsday Clock is.
The history of the Doomsday Clock every year, and I just show an animated clock of it moving back and forth.
Yeah, Doomsday Clock every day. And like it's just like 365 seconds of it not moving because
somebody asked.
It's like a Yule log.
Somebody asked, "What's the most aesthetic empire in history?"
In terms of like the map size, or in terms of like the
I'd say all.
Because like I love the like ancient Egyptian aesthetic, if that counts as an ancient empire.
That counts. Yeah.
But like in terms of like the shape of a map of an empire, easily the Achaemenid Persian Empire.
It
looks
unites
perfect
all
on the map.
It's so curvy.
I might be too old to know what they mean by aesthetic exactly.
What's the best looking empire? Like what?
Okay, like the literal definition of aesthetic.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought like it means a different thing, like when it's like in a weird font and spaced out or something.
No, in this context,
Okay.
it doesn't. Geez, you old man, put you in the home already. No. No, but God, I'm trying to. Did you actually have an idea of what yours was? Did you have an answer?
No. Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
You sounded like you were gonna have an answer.
So like for example, like the reason why I think Egypt is so cool is not just because of that, you know, that they're historically important, but you know, the idea of like all these giant sandstone statues, the pyramids. I've always liked the weird little cloth crown that they wore in Egypt that, like, you know, goes over the shoulders, whatever those are called.
Yeah.
I always thought hieroglyphics were cool. Like, you know, it just looks cool.
So you know what? I have one. I will
Yeah.
I'll go with the Aztecs because they got a whole aesthetic going on that's pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
This is gonna sound weird, but I'll say the Russian Empire. Like, hold me out. Like every 98% of the Russian Empire, like, is either like completely in poverty or it's a forest. But I think.
Have you seen their egg though?
But I think like that time
eggs.
period of culture for Russia, I'm just like obsessed over because it's like warm.
It's eggs.
Well, it's not just eggs, but it's also like, I don't know, the style of buildings.
Yeah.
The paintings,
Cody
the culture.
likes Easter eggs. Everybody tweet in pictures of Easter eggs.
Eggs and onion domes.
Hey, Lent is coming up, so you know. But anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm spending the holy day of Easter apparently in Las Vegas.
Oh no, oh no.
I think that's how you get a first class ticket to hell.
I'm going to relive the moment by crucifying myself.
Jesus will have to re-die.
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
Jesus will have to re-die just to cover that whole thing up. So, and then we'll have a more special Easter. It'll be even more special. It'll be like he'll just be he'll come back and he'll be like, I have to deal with this shit again just because of Tristan. Just because Tristan decided to go to Las Vegas. Oh, I can't believe it. That's my Jesus impression. He's just grizzled and he's sick of everything.
No, I like to think that I'd be hardcore, but I'm probably gonna like drink like a plastic guitar full of daiquiri and like watch the Blue Man Group or something.
That's festive. It's quite festive.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the aesthetic empire. Trying to, we're taking your questions now. Oh God, they are sending me eggs. I hate all of you, all of you.
Hey, I didn't tell them to do that.
Oh, you're a part of this too. You're all in on this.
I am tagged in one of them.
Okay.
What's your favorite period to study? That's a fun one.
Ooh.
What's your favorite period to talk about?
Yeah. Okay. I think you've told me your favorite already.
Me or Tiger Star?
You have. Yeah, you have. Tristan has.
I mean, 21st century is a big one for me, but I think that if you look at my channel, you'll know that I have a special place in my heart for the pre-Columbian Americas. I think those are my two faves.
It's a good segue from the Aztecs.
Yeah. I was actually in a different world, in an alternate history, where I didn't have to do a whole bunch of crazy things in order to do it. I was going to go to grad school to be a Mesoamericanist to study the Aztecs.
Dude, that's kind of cool. I mean, what's it called? I forgot who they were talking about, but there's just the whole discussion on the plague that hit the Mesoamericans, and it's like 9 out of 10. And I'm just imagining if there's any place in history I would not want to be, I would not want to be in Mesoamerica after the Spanish arrival, just because that that would be the closest to the apocalypse ever. Like not the Black Death.
90% of the population.
Yeah, not the Black Plague, not the Mongols, not even World War II. Like that is the actual extinction.
Imagine 90% of the people dying in a city that is the size of Paris. Like it had the capital of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan, had a population of 200 and something thousand, which was about the population of Paris at that time. Like just imagine that.
Well, 200,000, that's a little bit bigger than the city I live in.
Well, imagine
So, yeah,
imagine if even in America, if we took that like comparison with like there's 300 million Americans, 90% of Americans die. Like that is such a level that there is no more society.
We would literally downgrade our population to the same population level as Canada.
Yeah.
If
if we ever were just like Canada, it would be a literal apocalypse. But yeah, that's like all of society would just collapse.
And then, well, no, the worst part would be if 90% of Americans died off, suddenly the environment is going to be doing a lot better. That's the sad thing.
Did I ever do a video?
There's an environmental history bit about how the depeopling of the Americas, I think is the clinical term that archaeologists use, caused a lot of the trees to regrow and a lot of forests to expand because there weren't people chopping it down or living in it or using it anymore. And that caused a sequestration of a whole bunch of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and might have been responsible for the mini ice age.
Yeah, and that was also kind of like that sort of played into the whole theology that colonists believed that this new world was literally made for them by God, because there was all of these forests, but the forests magically had these paths right through them, almost like God had just said, hey, drive your carriage through this, even though it was actually because it was a post-apocalyptic wasteland that was originally settled and actually had roads by Native Americans, but all of them died, and so everything just regrew, and then the settlers came. It'd be like if there was like a zombie apocalypse and then everybody died, and then all of the cities and everything basically just had trees and stuff grow out of them, and then people randomly arrived and they're like, wow, there's roads. That's what the settlement of America basically was like. But yeah. So, wow, didn't that get all super depressing? What a great question.
I
Man,
got
I
a
think.
question that could be a good final question. This is directed at all of us.
Mm.
Which history of either a nation or period do we find the least interesting?
Oh yeah, I got
Oh,
that one too.
oh.
Thank you, Thanasis B on Twitter.
And like, let's probably give like a fair answer, and not say like, well, my least favorite period of history is Australia before the 1700s. Like, let's not do anything like that.
Okay.
You know, no cheating.
But seriously, screw Australia. No. Man, Tristan, it seems like you have a good idea. Can you share it with the class?
Oh. People are gonna hate me.
Share it.
Oh well.
Share it. They already hate you.
That's true, they do.
Yeah.
The oh god, the like late modern age, early Victorian period, like the time when everybody in Europe wore a lot of like poofy clothes and were having revolutions over ideas that were super hypocritical and stuff.
So the
Oh, I love
1800s.
that time. Screw you.
I do too. I mean, look at the outfit on my character. It's literally 1800s Victorian era Europe, except for Germany.
Napoleonic
I think
era.
the Victorian era. It's Napoleonic era. That's the part where I'm like,
Wait, Napoleonic? So you don't find Napoleon?
It's the time he's talking about, the time in history when the French Revolution was happening, and they were talking about the rights of man and everything, while also.
I would imagine that you would love the French Revolution.
But at the same, he's talking about the hypocritical nature of it, because like they would go and basically like crush Haiti, do all this other stuff that was like not for the revolution. That was the whole. That's probably that's what you're getting.
I guess
at, right?
there's some cool stuff, but like there's like, you know what? I should probably walk that back because I am already thinking of interesting stuff. But then again, I'm a huge history buff. This is hard. Like it's not like I dislike this period. It's just that I'm trying to think of like one that I'm least drawn towards doing.
Yeah. Like if you're like ever like somebody says a question for it, you're like, I don't care.
Honestly, I would say if we're talking about like an area of history that I'm not interested in, I would say it's like the history of India, South Asia, that whole area. Just in general, like I know about it, but I don't know. It's just not quite as interesting to me as China or the Middle East. In terms of like a time period, that's actually probably a lot harder. I'd say probably my least favorite time period to study about, maybe like that little bit that's like in between the Renaissance and the colonial era.
The Elizabethan era.
Like the 16th century period.
Like the Enlightenment.
Yeah, I guess.
Sort of.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean, there's like the Elizabethan era, which is like Shakespeare, and then there'd be
because I find that, well, I don't know, maybe.
See, this is a hard question.
It is.
I actually do have an answer. I actually do have an answer.
I'll go with the World Wars.
No. We're done. We're done.
Good night, everybody.
Because then, like, I don't know, it just seems like all of the cool stuff was put on pause because everyone just had to kill each other for a while. It's like,
that's like the most fascinating one.
I don't know. Either way, go ahead.
I actually think the least interesting, and it's gonna sound
William Henry Harrison's presidency.
No, the least interesting. I'm gonna say this is ancient Chinese history. I can never, ever get into ancient Chinese, and this is why. Everything blends together. Like China is 40K. China is the closest we will ever get to the Imperium of Man. There are so many people that are born and die, so many people who are like god emperors for their time, and they are just lost to history, and it's just a never-ending just conflict and war. And you have millions of like, I think there was I saw a thing that had a graph of the most costliest wars in history, and one of the like fourth most costliest wars in all of human history.
Taiping Rebellion.
No, it was this random Chinese rebellion between three kingdoms in like the
Lao Shu.
Yeah, it was back in like the 2000 BC, and it was like
sure it was that far back?
It was either like 2000. It was like 1,000. It was in the BC era, I think.
The fact that 1,000 years can pass and you're not sure
But anyway,
just shows what you're saying.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, China is just so vast. Millennia
Like,
for the Chinese is like nothing.
I
And
can understand that because there's something about like Chinese history where it doesn't really get interesting until the AD period. Because like the ancient Chinese dynasties, depending on what you count as ancient, it's
I'm gonna
just
look this up.
okay, there's one dynasty, they've developed farming, another dynasty, they've united and then they fight for a bit, another dynasty, they unite and fight for a little bit, and another dynasty, they like unite and fight for a little bit. Like there's
Yeah,
nothing that
like
makes them like yeah, there are things that make them distinct, like their culture is developing and all that stuff. But like for example, when you look in later Chinese history, like there's of course the Mongols, there's the Manchurians,
okay,
there
I got
is
it.
the Ming dynasty, all that stuff. Those are so distinct. But like if you ask me like what's the difference between the Zhao and the Shang, I would be like, well, I know which one comes first.
Okay,
But
I got it wrong. I got it wrong. It wasn't in the thousands. It was in 700 AD. It was called
yeah, so that's the
The An Lushan Rebellion. And so
Yeah.
basically, what the An Lushan Rebellion was, it was um a general called An Lushan declared himself emperor in northern China, and he established a rival dynasty against the Tang dynasty. And the war was so devastating. Just looking at the Wikipedia estimates, 13 million to 36 million people died in a single rebellion in the span of 8 years.
Yikes.
This was in a single rebellion in northern China. For
And this is like
comparison,
this is not a rebellion, like,
the Mongol conquest took 30 million.
that's tens of millions of people also in like the early Middle Ages.
21 million people died in World War One, at most.
Yeah.
So it's like just so many people died in a single rebellion in China. This is literally the Imperium of mankind. This is just such astronomical numbers of people dying and being born and just dying to the tides of history that it's just. And I mean, that in itself is interesting about China, but Chinese culture itself is interesting, but Chinese culture is interesting because it's so vast across this astronomically long span of time.
Because
Yeah.
like it's like not only is it the fact that they've always had a lot of people and it's always been a large sized country, because China is greater China is the size of like the United States ish, depending on what you count as China. But it's the fact that like they've always been so like self-contained too. And I think it's like because of the geography, because like in the southwest you've got the
Oh
Himalayas,
my
which blocks them
god.
off from India. You've got the deserts of the north and northwest, which blocks them off from everywhere else. They just have Korea and Japan to the east, and China has always seen them as the lesser civilizations. So China has always like been just isolated until the modern day, other than like basic trade.
Okay, so
So it's so
I'm
easy
looking
for
at
it to
the
be
estimation.
self-contained.
I'm looking at the estimation that they're having for percentages. So some it varies. Some say that it's as high as uh what is it? 1/6 of the world's population died in the single rebellion. Some are saying two-thirds of the population of China died, and others are saying that 5% of the population died. Um,
Just for reference on that,
Five.
just for reference on that, the like apocalypse that we were talking about, where 90% of the indigenous people of the Americas died because of the Columbian Exchange, that was 1/5 of the Earth's population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So China not only fought a war within itself and killed more people than World War One, it was able to run a successful dynasty immediately after.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Well,
China.
well, no, that's actually not quite true, because the An Lushan Rebellion, what's so important about it is not only was it a huge war, but it was the war that like fundamentally weakened the Tang Dynasty, because the Tang Dynasty,
Yeah, but I'm not talking
um,
about. I'm talking about like the society of China, just the civilization of China.
Yeah, but sure, but like what I'm saying is like since it weakened the Tang Dynasty, it caused China to split up into like 12 to 14 different dynasties. So like yeah, it didn't destroy the civilization, but in terms of like a united Chinese society, it
Yeah,
helped like destroy it in that sense.
yeah. So it's just like if you had numbers like that in Europe, that would be apocalyptic numbers. For like medieval Europe at the time, if you had like 30
Oh yeah,
million
well
people
Europe
die.
was like a freaking shitty backwater until they started conquering other people and taking their shit.
Actually,
Yes.
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, the reason Chinese history is not interesting, it's almost like a completely antithetical to what I'm saying. But Chinese history isn't interesting to me because there's so much of this. There's so much of the sort of back and forth, and I don't know. There's
Well,
so many
and
names,
again,
and it's just not
it's
interesting.
like it's self-contained. Like
Yeah,
there's not very many like alternate history scenarios that you could do with China that would seriously affect the rest of the world
yeah.
aside from like trade or something
Because China
until
is
like
its own
maybe
world.
like the 1600s.
Yeah, because China is its own world. It
Yeah.
completely does its own. It did its
Like
own thing.
what if an extra 10 million died in the Anlushan revolt? What would change in Europe and the Americas and Africa and Australia? Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe
Well,
some rich guy in Europe won't get his silk
what
or
would
something,
happen in
but
China?
that's it.
This certain thing would be changed that would eventually have changed anyway, because
Yeah.
it's spanning so long. Like, uh, yeah. But anyway, I just stay away from Chinese. If I'm ever gonna talk about China, it's gonna be 20th century China. It's gonna be like the civil
What
wars and stuff.
if Chiang Kai-shek somehow stay with me here actually won? Yeah, I know no one liked him, but I don't care. It's a what if.
Yeah.
What if China joined the Axis?
Oh
Oh
no.
my god. We successfully did that in
It,
a Hearts of Iron game. I made China Axis
China
power.
joins the Axis, which forces Japan to join the Allies, but then
No,
they're still fighting a three-way
in
war
that
with not
Hearts of
only the
Iron
Axis
game,
but also America.
no, in that Hearts of Iron game, I was able to have China become Axis, but Japan was also Axis. So all of East Asia was just united with the Axis powers. I was Russia. So
Oh no.
so we had a string of Axis powers all the way from the Pacific all the way to Germany who was taking Britain. It was insane. That was a great game.
Well, as we learned in our game, that Britain will just declare war on anybody for any fucking.
I only play as Britain now because I just don't want to worry about Britain. I hate worrying about Britain, so I'm just always gonna play as them.
Or you could just play in the Americas where Britain doesn't care.
They go after the America. I was fascist America,
Really?
and they invaded. Yeah, remember there was that whole game that we
Well,
did.
yeah, once you
Yeah,
got linked in to the giant World War II, but I'm talking about like when you eat up your first two or three countries. Because like in Europe,
yeah,
for example, you get one country you get to eat up, and then the second one, oh, Britain's protecting the country. Britain doesn't do that for South America.
Well, I
yeah.
played as
Well, it's
Turkey.
because
When
America.
I played as
It,
Turkey and I went communist, literally every time I started fabricating a claim, the British like guaranteed their independence, and every single one of my neighbors had a guaranteed independence from Britain.
yeah, the Britain,
Yeah.
Britain,
Shit.
Britain is the greatest annoyance in Hearts of Iron. It's just, ugh, they annoy me so much. If you get them on your side, they're the greatest ally. But man, the sun never sets. It is real. It is
They
real.
wouldn't let me invade Greece and live out every Turk's dream.
I think me and Tyler did this game where, um, I was Russia. He was Germany or something. But basically, like, oh wait, no, it was me, Tyler, and my friend Caleb. We decided to be the Middle East, and we were going to bring back the Islamic Caliphate. And
Oh no.
I was Iran. My friend Caleb was Iraq, and then Tyler was Saudi Arabia, and we were able to successfully invade Yemen and Oman. And after that, we were stuck because if we went anywhere, we would immediately have the British kill us. And we couldn't invade Russia, we couldn't invade Turkey, and we were just stuck. And so we just ended the game because we were like, yep, that's our caliphate. We're good. We did it. We did it, everyone. We couldn't even invade Syria because if we did,
Mission
France would go after.
accomplished.
Yeah, mission was accomplished, and that took like 5 hours. Oh god.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah.
Anyway,
That seems like a good stopping place.
yeah. Anyway, I think it was a good podcast. We did good.
It was decent.
We did all right. We did adequately.
I mean, we got to put something out to satisfy the fans after such a long wait.
Yes, because everybody knows.
Like we need a fourth episode for the podcast channel. Anything really?
Oh god, we do. And it'll be like we're finally back. Actually, this is called the I don't know if you're looking at it. It's called the So That Happened podcast. We're still doing this edition. So that's what the actual name of this video is.
That's an optimistic way to look into 2018.
We didn't secretly break up.
We didn't secretly break up. It's okay. The family's still here.
See, if Cody wouldn't have brought Yoko to the studio again, none of this would have happened, and you know it.
Izzy is Yoko.
Oh, that's not fair.
It's okay. She's not watching this anyway. All right.
Well,
anyway,
no one would be as bad as Yoko.
Just let's not bring up Yoko ever again. That will be the rule. Anyway, I think that's a good way to end it. I am Cody.
I'm Emperor Tiger Star.
And I'm Tristan from Step Back History, stepbackhistory.com. You know the slogan.
And this is the So That Happened podcast. Please stop watching this thing.